And I'd like to open the council meeting at 5:30 and request everyone take a seat. Thank you. And I'd like to acknowledge Arnold Carter as a freeman of the town of Port Hedland, who is in the public gallery at the moment. And I would like to invite Alfred Barker to do the acknowledgement for the council today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you heard, my name is Alfred Barker. I'm a Garriera elder. I'm born here in Port Hedland. My mum is from Bradbury Station, and we sort of care for the Port Hedland area. So I'd like to just acknowledge the Shire and the committee for their continued acknowledgement to Garriera people. I'd like to also acknowledge our elders, past and present, and into the future. I'd like to just remind people that I am a Garriera elder. I did pass the form on to the committee declaring through the court for our native title claim that I am a Garriera elder and am to speak for this country. So just to put a bit of twist in the mind of the people who continually saying I'm not a Garriera person. So just the rest of these for the council. And I'd like to welcome you all. Thank you for being on Garriera country. And welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barker. Item 3, recordings of attendance. As listed. 3.2, attendance by telephone or instantaneous communication. There's nil. 3.3, apologies. There is nil. 3.4, approved leave of absence, Councillor Tricia Hebbard. 3.5, disclosures of interest. Council members note any disclosures of interest in tonight's agenda. Can I get councillors to use the microphones?
So yes, I do. Just have to look at the item number. Um, 11.1.5, I'm going to disclose a financial interest, management of the community business rooms at Port Haven.
Thank you, Councillor Arrow. Councillor Whitwell.
No.
Councillor Carter.
Yes, Mayor. Item number 11.1.5, management of the Port Haven rooms. To create a impartiality vote on that, please. In regard to the agenda item, I disclose that I have impartial interest being
Councillor
present.
Carter, we can do that when the item comes up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cash.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Same 11.1.5, management community business rooms at Port Haven. It's financial interest, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor McDonough.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Pitt.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Item 4, applications for leave of absence. Do I have any applications from council members?
Yes, please.
Councillor Carter.
Yes, Mayor, from the 18th of October to the 28th of October.
Councillor Whitwell. Can I get you to use the mic, Councillor?
I may be away from the 17th of October to the 20th of October.
Councillor Pitt.
From the 20th of October to the 5th of November, and then the 24th of November to the 30th of November. Um, 20th of October to the 5th of November, and then the 24th of November to the 30th of November.
Is there any other applications, councillors? Could I get a mover in that item? Move Councillor Arif. Have a seconder, Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against? Motion is passed 8-0. Item 5, response to previous questions. 5.1, response to questions taken on notice from the public at Ordinary Council meeting held on Wednesday the 22nd of August 2018. From Mr. John Peters, a response is provided. Item 6, public time. And I have to read out this important note. This meeting has been recorded on audio tape and streamed live online as an additional record of the meeting and to assist with minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. If you do not give permission for your recording, your participation, please indicate this at the meeting. The public is reminded that in accordance with section 616 of the Town of Port Eden local law and standing orders, nobody shall use any visual or vocal electronic device or instrument to record the proceeding of any meeting unless that person has been given permission by the presiding member to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with section 6174 of the Town of Port Eden local law and standing orders, mobile telephones must be switched off and not used during the meeting. In accordance with section 673 of the Town of Port Eden local law and standing orders, members of the public are required to complete a question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. So, members of the public, I'm happy for you to use your electronic devices to follow the agenda of the meeting if you so wish, and that can be found on the Town of Port Eden website. Item 6.1, public question time. I'll open public question time at 5:37 and request public questions from the gallery, if I have any public questions. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 3 questions. The first one is I've seen no
Mr. Carter,
financials.
could I get you to state your name and address for the tape, thanks?
Arnold Carter, 47 Moore Street, Port Eden. I have indicated from council there has been no financials since the end of June. Could you please tell me when these financials will be available for the public? Including you've also got junior budget in there also. There I've not seen any financials whatsoever. My second question.
I'll take the first one first.
Through the chair, I'll pass to the Director of Corporate Services.
The annual financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2018 should be available by Monday the 15th of October.
I take that they will be available on the 15th of October, would be correct?
That's correct.
Yep. My second question is that I notice in your agenda you've got minutes of the Audit and Finance Committee meeting. I can't find them in the minutes, in the agenda. And I certainly have never ever received a copy of them. Somebody please explain where they are?
So, can you just clarify that? Are you talking about the agenda tonight? Or
in your agenda tonight, you've got the adoption of the minutes of the Audit and Finance Committee. I've had a look on the agenda, I can't find them, and as a member of that committee, I have never seen any minutes of that meeting.
Acting?
Through the chair, I'll ask the Director of Corporate again.
Page 126.
Through the Chair, the minutes from the last Audit, Risk and Governance Committee have been published on the Town of Port Eden website, and they're an attachment and a separate cover to this agenda for the Council meeting tonight.
But I have not received one, and I happen to be a member of that committee.
We can provide you one for sure. Yep.
If you wouldn't mind, thank you. I thought that was understood at the last meeting. Okay. As you know, I put a very strong objection into the rating strategy. I had yesterday a very, very disturbed person coming in with a valuation of a property that she had just received. And I'm referring to the commercial industrial new rating system. In 2017, she had a valuation of her property of $182,500 with a rate of 4.1900, which resulted in a debit of 7647.53. Today, I have received her notification of the same property. The property is 146500, which is a reduction of $36,000 on the value of the property. The rate has gone up to 9.343, which is 120% on the previous year, which makes her payment now of $13,702, an increase of $6,055 on a business person running a business. This is absolutely unbelievable.
Did you want a comment? Was that a question or?
It's information. I think I did express my concern. I did submit it.
Okay, Mr. Carter. Well, the information that you're missing is you've stated that 182,500 is the valuation of the previous year. So we'll need a evaluation on this current year.
146500. Already given it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Which the rate in the dollar on 2017 was 4.19.
Yep.
The rate in the dollar in 2018 is 9.343, an increase of 120%. Thank you. Information for you. Any comments from the council?
The rating strategy is well publicised.
I'm not talking about that, but we've mentioned this before, but the council did not take any consideration. When we said we tried to stop it putting more on the residential, industrial and commercial is going to be a problem. These small business people, how do you think they're going to survive? This person employs 3 people and she has to pay $5,000 additional on a reduction of $40,000?
Mr. Carter,
no further comment.
I'm sure that the person that has the issue should be putting her own personal complaint in, or she has an issue with the. If she has an issue with the valuation, there is an option for her to put a objection to the valuation into the Value General. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Do I have any further public questions?
Good evening, my name is Dean Davis, 13 Tremor Loop, South Lebanon. I see tonight Waste Management Bill is being voted on. Government departments, organisations provide disposable printed information, the use of unmarked, unidentified plastic bottles for syringes that are disposed in general collectible waste. This goes against health.gov.au website best practices. During my campaign, I've noticed on many occasions that needles are being dumped into rubbish bins with no caps or no protective devices. I've also been getting reports of needles in and on the edges of public rubbish bins. I've read the Waste Disposal Draft 2018 and it is ambiguous when dealing with needle syringe program waste alongside federal and state laws. Page 11, Schedule 1, meaning of non-collectible waste. The request is to have council specifically ban the allowing of needle syringe biohazardous waste into collectible curbside waste and recycling streams, and not to promote the disposal syringe biohazardous waste in public, private, general waste and recycling bins by the state government. Thank you.
So can you simplify that question? I'm assuming you're saying that you would like the state government to put some legislation in to stop the disposal of needles into...
No, I'm asking use of voting on the local Waste Management Act 2018.
So just simplified version.
Well, what, you guys are in charge of what? Rubbish, roads and rates. So you run the local landfill. So by banning putting needles in rubbish bins, you're protecting garbage collectors, landfill staff, contractors, community, and your proposed recycling industry.
Okay, yep. Acting CEO, could I get a response?
I'll pass to the Acting Director.
Through the Chair. Thank you. A response was provided on the Ordinary Council meeting minutes on the 26th of June 2018.
Do we have a...
Yeah, I can reiterate the response.
Can we read the response out again?
The town of Port Hedland in no way supports hazardous waste and general waste. Our current disposal units are monitored weekly and disposed of by local contractors. Public disposal units are located at all public toilet facilities in South Hedland, Port Hedland, shopping centre, restrooms, medical practices. The disposal units are then transported to the landfill, which they are disposed of in hazardous waste, which is sectioned off from the general waste area. For syringes disposed of in general waste, which has its associated risks, the town of Port Hedland's local laws and internal operating procedures have preventative measures for staff to mitigate any direct contact with general waste. There is no validity in data by introducing a reporting process in which we record disposal bin sizes and weight, their collection point, and if they were correctly disposed of or not. This process deflects from the urgent need to address needles in public spaces, not at the landfill.
Thank you, Director.
Okay, that does not identify in any way, shape or form general rubbish bins, the green rubbish bins that we get collected curbside, and it doesn't reflect on any garbage bins in public areas like parks and side streets.
Through the Chair. Yes. Under the waste local laws, it's not possible to make it an offence to put syringes into the general rubbish bin.
And that means what? That you can't ban it because you're not going to charge somebody for an offence?
So, through the Chair, what we can and can't do in the waste local law is governed by state legislation. So it is not that we have a blank slate to make any offence.
From what I've read, federally, it's immune needle syringe programs or exempt, which follows down to state, which then follows down to local law to make their own mind up.
So, Mr. Davis, I think that question's been asked and answered. We are following state legislation, which determines our local laws.
So
if you would like state law changed,
I want local
if you would
law.
like state law changed, it's an option for you to then. Can you let me finish? It is an option for you then to lobby our state local member and see what the state government can do in respect to your concerns.
Are you not voting on local law tonight for rubbish?
Yes.
Through the Chair. So syringes...
Speak into the mic.
Yep. Syringes are covered in hazardous waste material, so we actually specifically covered them in hazardous waste material, which are banned from general waste bins.
I've got photos of green rubbish bins with needles incorrectly disposed of, with no caps, no protective covers. There was a needle in a rubbish bin just yesterday left on the side of a local public rubbish bin. Now, that is not being covered by your hazardous waste.
Through the Chair, the local laws will allow us to actually act on people that misuse the bins. Anyone disposing of hazardous material in the general waste bins will have powers now to go after them and educate them or censure them for doing that.
Okay, well then you're going to have to talk to the needle syringe program that actively promote putting needles into general waste bins.
And Mr. Davis, that's actively what we're doing in relation to that program with the health department.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any other public questions?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we going, right?
Not too bad.
Oh, that's good. Look, last week
Could
you
I,
guys...
could I get you to state your name and your address? Thank you.
Okay, my name's Frank Kane. Everyone kind of knows me as Tats. My address is number 6 Shillerman Street. I used to be at number 17 Shillerman Street. But what we've got here, just beside all the dramas that we're going through of all the other frauds and everything that we had for the other members of council that aren't here anymore, we've got a new thing here going on with the development application available for inspection. Use not listed club premises, and it's all meant to be in all meant to be on the outside information stuff where you can go and pick it up. Well, I tried 3 different computers yesterday. I couldn't get through. I had to come here today to get the information on it, all the building gear on it and everything else at 17 Shillerman Street, which I'm still fighting for that block after I've been through court and everything else, and all the frauds that's come along with it, because I've got it here 110% now. So just trying to figure out, have you guys double checked it to see if it's online?
The information is online. We haven't had any issues with anybody not being able to receive that information.
Well, that's only because I'm probably the only person that would. Wouldn't you say so?
So your question is?
My question is, it's back online now, is it?
Would you like me to check? See.
Well, I went through here today. I got all the building submissions and everything else on it through here. I tried 3 different.
So you have the information you need?
I have now.
Okay.
But outside
Thank
there,
you.
right on the outside world, right out there, right. There's nothing. Right, it's not there. Just sort of let you know. And that about 17 Shillerman Street, which you all kind of know about. I suppose I have to put in a couple other submissions, but how far do you guys really want to go with all the fraud and the Governor General's signature and everything else that's just all been frauded?
I understand the situation. What is your question?
Are you just going to wait for me to put in more submissions towards 17 Shillerman Street? Because the land wasn't registered for 12 years and you turn around and you falsely put it into your Shire Council's name? 17 Shillerman Street.
I'll take that question on notice.
Right.
Do you have another question?
Well, when you turn around and look at the Lions Club, and you turn around on what they call it right here, it's the Crown Land title. Under the falsement of that, you turn around and the Shire, Mel Osborne I should say, has turned around and said that the land was registered between 1995 to the year 1999. Now, the Lions Club shut down in 1993 and was registered in 1987. With the pictures of it here as well. With the local paper, pictures of it in 1993.
Yes, Frank, I'm well aware of that information. As the item has been approved by the Department of Lands to go ahead, I think your complaint would obviously be with the Department of Lands, not with the town of Port Hedland. We're following the legislative requirements to transfer that land into the ownership of a association, and we followed all of the correct rules.
Okay, I'll take that as notice. I'll keep that in mind, the back of my head with all the other stuff that's coming up. But if we can turn around between the Shire Council here and Landgate, to turn around and find out other ideas to put that land on hold, please. Because I even had reminders, right, mate, you're overridden me. I don't actually want the Crown title, right, to be signed over to me. I prefer I don't want to blame the Crown, I don't want to blame the state, I want the local Shire to pay for the damages that was done on it when all this happened. That's what I want. Is that okay?
And the Shire won't be doing that.
I'm afraid you will be.
Thanks for your question. Was there anything further?
No.
Thank you.
I'll let you know I'm here. I haven't run away.
Do I have any further public questions? I shall close public question time at 5:56 and open public statement time at 5:56 and call for public statements. Do I have any public statements from the gallery?
Hi, Adrian Hatwell, 17 Clam Court, South Hedland. I'm also the Vice President of the Port Hedland Chamber of Commerce. I'm referring to item 11.1.5 on the agenda and with the Port Haven rooms. Begin in saying that the Chamber is a non-profit organisation primarily concerned with the collective interests of businesses. Since businesses can't succeed in the region if the region doesn't prosper, it's a matter of fact that the Chamber acts with the interest of the wider picture. That said, I'd like to highlight some points that I'd like to consider on this matter. I probably do not need to remind you the details of the history, but there are some points worth reiterating. The 80 Port Haven rooms have benefited varied businesses, professionals, and those investments in the town. It's a direct alignment with the Port Hedland Chambers and Web Business Hub values. The income earned by the Chamber in managing these rooms has helped to fund the purchase of the land, which the new Web incubator stands. It's a well-established pattern through Australia that new businesses that move through an incubator system have higher levels of success and within a year or so begin employing additional people. The Chamber and our stakeholders have worked cooperatively with common purpose for many years to ensure prosperity beyond the specific interest of the company. The Chamber has been able to utilise the resources and administration assistant to manage computerised systems for the booking of the rooms, along with her other responsibilities. This has helped ensure a significant proportion of the income from the rooms have been used for the incubator program. One might argue that there is a solid income generator from these rooms, and easily to understand why some might think you should go to the public purse of council. However, council has avoided the employment costs of a designated person to manage the rooms, and in doing so, council has helped advance the development of the incubator and generate jobs that will flow into Port Hedland and the community as a result. When one takes all this into account, I think it's reasonable to draw a conclusion that the council made the right decision nearly a decade ago to invite the Chamber to manage these rooms, and I hope you do so again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do I have any further public statements?
Hi, Trina Stoddart, 29 Brodie Crescent, South Hedland. I'm the CEO of Jubilee Aboriginal Corporation. Jubilee was incorporated through ORIC on the 22nd of March 2018 under the corporation's Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Act 2006 with the goal to promote the safety and wellbeing of people of the Pilbara with a focus on youth, increase opportunities for Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander peoples, to assist to build capacity in the community where we work, to work collaboratively to support community development and engagement, to work with traditional owners of the Pilbara and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to close the gap. ICN is 8808. There have been a lot of questions about Jubilee in your council meetings, and although no one has approached us directly, to ask us to clarify any of the information you were given. We thought if we came and provided the necessary clarification, it would mean that the council could return to their work. Firstly, Geordie Aboriginal Corporation has received no sponsorship or donations from the town of Port Hedland. We have not provided any gifts to any employees of the town of Port Hedland, and we have not provided any gifts to elected members of the Port Hedland Council. I know this has been repeated and repeated. I hope that our organisation confirming this in this public forum will finally help the message be heard. Our board of directors are Alfred Barker, Raylene Button, Maureen Kelly, OAM, John Van Der End and David Pence. Our rulebook, registered with ORIC and publicly available on their website, clearly outlines that directors receive no payments for their position as directors. Also, that we have a clear process for declaring any conflicts of interest. David Pence is the CEO of the town of Port Hedland, but does not represent the town of Port Hedland on the Geordie board. Geordie Aboriginal Corporation values David Pence's input and is saddened by his support of a not-for-profit organisation and its work that has been maligned by such ill-informed comments and in such an inappropriate arena. Geordie Aboriginal Corporations looks forward to continuing our work here in the Pilbara and hope that any future questions can be addressed directly to our organisation as is appropriate. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Are you happy to take questions from the council or not? Well, councillors, here's your chance. Do you have any questions for for this organisation?
Not so much. Sorry.
Well, just one. Can we clarify that the people on the Giuliani Corporation, the directors, are actually the members of the Hedland Strong Leaders Group? Is that true or not?
The Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders are here to make a statement as well today, so I'll leave it for them to clarify for you. We aren't answerable to the town of Port Hedland Council in any way. We're answerable to the state government. That is who we're registered with. We're registered under a state act, not through local government law. Our membership has been approved through the act by ORIC, and our membership has got no business of the town and the council. Our membership is kept up to date. We report back to ORIC.
So can I just clarify, ORIC is a federal government a body? Is it federal?
It's the body that that looks after the incorporation through the specific act.
It's federal?
Well, we work through the
Yes,
state.
I understand. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Do I have any further questions?
I have another question. With David Pence, our CEO, being a director with Giuliani, has he signed? It actually was, but originally when the corporation was, I think it was registered in March, did David Pence sign a disclosure of interest with his being a director with Giuliani, considering as a CEO there are payments that have gone
Councillor Pitt,
from him to the corporation?
Councillor Pitt, I'm going to just say that question's out of order, and I'm happy for you to ask our CEO directly that question before you ask that in the public arena. Is there another question? Any declarations made by council members or members of staff are actually listed in the public disclosure return area. So, and that's viewable by any member of the public.
Can I just say one more thing? This isn't an attack on anybody here. It's just a point of clarification that whether, conflict of interest might be perceived. That's all that the questions are directed for. Thank you.
And I'd like to you're ready to rest at ease that we've received no payments from the town of Port Hedland. In fact, we have made a decision as an organisation that we will not seek any funding from the town of Port Hedland. David Pence is a community member, and his input into the organisation and the betterment of the community is much more valuable than any questions being raised in this forum.
Thank you. Councillor De Cash, did you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just going to say that my concern, the CEO being as a director, it doesn't matter. He's the CEO of the town, so any decisions that he makes and your board makes affects the town. You understand what I'm saying? He is the CEO no matter what happens. So That's the concern I've got.
Okay, we'll take that as a statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have... okay, thank you.
We're doing joint statements. My name's Maureen Kelly. I live at 41 Atrema Loop, South Hedland. I'm a JP and Order of Australia. I'm a Ngalawa Elder. I'm also the chairperson of the Pilbara Metamaya Aboriginal Corporation, and I've just been appointed to the West Australian Police Force Aboriginal Advisory Forum. Alfred, a respected senior Gariada Elder, we are both co-chairs of the Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders. Due to Raylene Button being in Wales at the moment doing a leadership course for the next 3 months, so I'm standing in for her. And we are both directors of the Giuliardi Aboriginal Corporation. The Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders membership includes Alfred Barker, Gariada Elder, Raylene Button, Gariada Elder, myself, Ngalama Elder, Laurice Douglas, Ngalama Elder, Donnie Wilson, Gariada Elder, Sally Mack, Gariada Elder, Daniel Toby, Gariada Elder, Neil Badu, Madu Elder, Doris Eaton, Nyamal Elder, David Stock, Nyabali Elder, Bruce Thomas, Nyangamata Elder, and Albert Pianta is a Ngalawanga Elder.
My name's Alfred Barker. I live at 6 Charles Ball Drive in Port Hedland. Hedland Aboriginal Strong Leaders is the elders group that representation from a number of Aboriginal groups and focuses on working together to advocate for a better outcome of our people, working with government and organisation on stronger programs, develop and delivery to our community, championing strong and appropriate community engagement, providing leadership and guidance to the Aboriginal community. We are autonomous and provide consultation to government, local, state and Commonwealth and organisations. We drive and deliver our own initiatives. We also provide representation at forums and meetings. The members of our elders groups are recognised and endorsed by the community as elders and strong leaders.
Elders are not old people. They are the cultural authority endorsed for their people and must be appointed by their language groups or by their groups. Hassel follows kinship and Aboriginal governance, therefore only cultural elders endorsed and nominated by their group will be accepted as members. We have an application process that ensures that all members are elders and recognised by their group. It has been disappointing to hear people who do not represent our group, like Julie Walker, Councillor Talona Pitt, Councillor Louise Newbury, and John Peters, Peterson, Samuel Peters, Elvis Peters, question in council our credibility as elders and strong leaders. We are coming together voluntarily to work to create a better community.
While only elders are in the elders group, we also hold community forums and everyone is invited. So we can ensure that we are receiving feedback from the community. Both Councillor Pitt and Jenny Walker have attended a number of these and their feedback has been noted.
The elders want to be clear. Talona Pitt has been elected by members of the Hedland community as an elected member of the Port Hedland Council, but Councillor Pitt is not a representative of the Aboriginal community or is authorised to speak on cultural issues. She does not have the cultural authority or permission from the elders to talk on Aboriginal issues for our community. She has shown a disregard of ignorance of protocols.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I can't accept that. I mean, you don't attack councillors. You've got to stop
Yes, no, that's out of order.
that. No. It's terrible.
It is.
You should not allow that.
Councillor
There's statements that are not true.
It's disgusting.
Yous are both out of order.
No.
Can you read the standing order?
I said, that's enough. Allow the members to speak and have some respect when they are speaking.
At the recent River Bush meeting, Councillor Pitt was taken to task on these issues by cultural women at the women's meeting and reminded of her obligation to respect her elders.
She's an elder.
We remind Council that we cannot decide who speaks for Aboriginal people. Aboriginal governance and kinship clearly shows who is in our community as cultural authority and who can speak. We do, however, have a responsibility to represent all members of the community, and the Aboriginal community is a large one in Headland. We need to seek the feedback and feelings of the Aboriginal community and to adequately educate ourselves on Aboriginal culture.
Additionally, to briefly touch on another topic that has been discussed in these chambers, HASL is an independent group, and as a group of knowledgeable adults have chosen who we wish to assist with coordination and administration. Giuliardi Aboriginal Corporation will continue to work alongside the Headland Aboriginal Strong Leaders. Neither our group or Giuliardi Aboriginal Corporation have any obligation to include any particular individual as members or directors, contrary to John Peters' demand that we include his 2 community members. This is not a native title group, and we do not have to answer to him or Miss Julie Walker, who have respect and contact us directly, not raise these questions in this unrelated public meeting.
If you don't,
That's you, Alfred.
Councillor Pitt also should have made contact with her cultural grandmother, Mrs. Kelly, myself, or my wife, who is also a senior elder, instead of asking questions about us in the public council meetings.
We have attached all of my qualifications and awards for Councillor Louise Newbury's benefit, and only happy to bring in all my medals, certificates and shields for a show and tell, should she so desire to have proof of my qualifications.
I've lost the page.
Neither. Yeah. There you go. Nearly finished.
Neither Headland Aboriginal Strong Leaders or Giuliardi Aboriginal Corporation have received any cash payments from the town of Port Hedland. The town of Port Hedland was our very first supporter. They helped with administration and coordination, and then the cost of venue hire and catering. Since then, we have had further support from Garriera, Nyamal, Kalka and Roy Hill.
The Headland Aboriginal Strong Leaders is only a positive thing for this community. We look forward to continuing to provide consultation and support to local government, and look forward to speaking with you in the future when it is required. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you for your statement.
No.
Well,
It was illegal, you can talk.
okay, thank you. Do I have any further public statements from the gallery? I'm not going to take your statement. I think.
Why can't you take my
Question.
statement?
Okay, thank you. Yep. I thought you'd already done the statement.
No.
That's okay. Let's
That's only stage one,
have your
mate.
name and address.
You've got a long way to go, mate.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of years getting up to this stage. No, you're not going to take it away from me now. All right, my name's Frank Jane, known as Tats. I used to live at 17 Silverman Street. I now live at 6 Silverman Street, which is also Crown Land. Okay. Back in 2014, there was a special meeting on where Milo, I think you chose to go to that special meeting because that's how you become deputy mayor at that stage, am I correct?
Quite possibly.
At the special meeting.
Yeah, I've been at many special meetings.
Right, this was the first one when you first come in. When you become deputy mayor, when you're voted in as deputy mayor, right, you had to go to a special meeting about number 17 Silverman Street, me. It was all about me. And you had to vote. There were 5 of you.
Do you understand what public statement time is about? This is not questions between me and you. You provide a public statement, so let's hear it.
Okay, the public statement is you made a bylaw, right, under section 2.1, 2.12, 2.14 and 2.18, right, which comes under the bylaw to go onto Crown Land, and to have all them ideas to turn around to make a new bylaw to make Wedgfield a part of your town on Port Hedland under your number 5 scheme, right? You broke every law in the book. You didn't let no ministers or governors turn around to exercise and show you how to proceed and to be informed, or you never turn around and advertise and went through the papers to advertise all this. Do you know that? This is a bylaw under the superannuation scheme 2006 is what you used. Do you know about that? You've broken every law in the book. Well, major thing is, at the special meeting, were you at that special meeting? Because if you were, I'd like you to stand down from there, please.
Is that the end of your statement?
Yep, that's where we're at.
Okay, thanks for your statement, Mr. Kane.
Right, no reply.
Like I said, it's public statement time, so I'll get you to take a seat. Thank you very much. Do I have any further public statements? Thank you. I'll close public statement time at 6:15. Move on to 6.3, petitions, deputations, presentations and submissions. There is nil. Item 7, question from members without notice. Deputy.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Arif.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I supplied you with a motion, or a notice of motion that I wish to be presented at the next council meeting. Insofar as that I would like item 3.2 on our agenda, the attendance by instantaneous or telephone communications, to be deleted from the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Arif. Anything further, Councillor Arif? Is that the only one? Thank you. Councillor Whitwell?
No, I haven't got anything.
Councillor Carter?
No, Mayor.
Councillor Ducash?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I've really got an issue with councillors being attacked by members of the public when they come up here and say something. Now, it's happened twice now, and you haven't put a stop to it. I can guarantee you, Mr. Mayor, if that
Do you have a
attack was
question,
about...
Councillor Ducash?
Yes.
Can you just give me a
Why?
question?
Why do you not do your job properly and stop members of the public attacking councillors? Because if it was you, you'd press all
Councillor
the
Ducash,
buttons.
I'll answer that question. Thank you very much, because it's not appropriate for us to stop members of the public, stating anything they like. And I've read multiple reports from councils that have been, put under administration, and the outcomes of those reports, in many reports, state that members of the public are allowed to come and ask questions and have statements, and that members of the council and the presiding member are not to engage with them or be there needs to be a high level of respect, because it is a very stressful, position for a member of the public to come to the podium and ask questions about their town. And we need to make sure that they feel comfortable and they're not put under any stress, and that allows our system to remain open and accountable. So it is my responsibility to ensure the public abide by our local standing orders. And if council members don't like the way that I'm presiding the meeting, then you have the option to put a breach in. And I suggest that you do that, and let's test it. But before we test it, maybe a little bit of research from council members into the 25 or 30 local government reports that have been put out on councils that have been dismissed. They're only 1,000 pages long, so it might take a little bit of time to get through them. But I'm sure that you'll be well versed on public question time after you read all of that. Is there any further questions, Councillor Ducash?
No, but your offer is definitely
Thank you,
taken up.
Councillor Ducash. Councillor McDonough?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've sent this through to governance and to the acting CEO. I would like to put forward a notice of motion in reference to the current daycare wait list, requesting that the administration investigate and develop a strategy to increase childcare positions, facilities or other viable alternatives across Port and South Hedland. Given that this issue results in families leaving town, parents unable to return to work or families delaying having children, could I request that this is dealt with as a matter of urgency?
Thank you, Councillor McDonough. As we've done with Councillor Arif's notice of motion, we'll list that in the next council agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Pitt?
Yes, I do. Just kind of following up on what Councillor De Cash said, I just want to ask, do you have some type of bias with community members who you either let continue to speak things that shouldn't be spoken?
No, I don't have any bias whatsoever.
Also,
Councillor
no,
Pitt?
there's been in council meetings that you have pulled people up when you find it inappropriate when they're attacking you.
Councillor Pitt.
So is there a bias?
Councillor Pitt, I have said much the same as what I've said to Councillor De Cash. There is every opportunity for you to, if you don't like the way that I'm presiding the meeting, then put the breach in and let's test it through the standards panel.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Item 8, announcements by presiding member without discussion. There is nil. Item 9, declarations of all members to have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper before the meeting. Can I have a show of hands, please? Thank you. It is 8-0. Item 10, confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. 10.1, confirmation of minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 22nd of August 2018. With the officer's recommendation on page 13. I think my numbers on my agenda might be a little bit different to yours. It's page 11.
So moved.
Move Councillor McDonough and seconded Councillor Arif. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. 10.2, confirmation of minutes of special council meeting held on 6th of September 2018. With the officer's recommendation on page 11. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation?
So
Move Councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Moved Councillor Arif, seconded Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. Members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council decisions on items on this evening's agenda in which they may have an interest until formal notification in writing by the town has been received. Decisions made at this meeting can be revoked pursuant to the Local Government Act 1995. Item 11, reports of officers. 11.11, amendment of policy 4-008, elected members' entitlements, and 4-10, elected members' travel and training, with the officer's recommendation on page...
Mr Mayor, I'd like to move option
12.
2, the amended version. So I would like to see out of the elected member entitlements policy 4-008, I'd like to see 2.2 removed from the other expenses, removed from that policy, from the amended policy.
You'd like to see 2.2 removed?
Yes. 2.2.2, other expenses.
Are you moving that item 2? Is recommendation 2, was it?
Option 2.
Option 2.
Amended motion.
Do I have a seconder to... do I have a seconder in that option?
Seconded.
Seconded Deputy Mayor. Do I have any against? I'm against. Speakers for, Councillor Arif. Speakers for, Councillor Deputy Mayor. Speakers against, Mayor Blanco.
Thank you very much. Mr Mayor, we voted for our entitlements earlier this year. We voted, actually, you moved the motion, I believe, that we go for 90% of what we could actually get in our band here. And that was to try and show a bit of restraint on our part and to show the public that we are not just in it for the money, that we don't have to take all the money. It's just 90% of what we are entitled to. And now we're asking for extra expenses. Now, when we discussed this a couple of weeks ago at the workshop, none of the councillors around the table at that time indicated that it would be an issue to them because they don't really have any extra expenses. But you spoke up and you said, well, sometimes you meet with people and buy a coffee or two, and you might do that 5 times a day, and at $20 a head, that works out $100 a day coming out of your pocket. Now, if you were to do that every day, and I don't know you don't, but it could effectively be $33,000 a year. That is a coffee allowance, effectively. Now, I don't think that is right. I think if you're having meetings with clients and they are endorsed meetings, then perhaps the better place to be meeting might be in the mayoral office, and perhaps a more prudent thing might be to buy a coffee machine, and it'd be much cheaper for the council that way. In reading through the officer's report here, it said that consultation was undertaken with a number of WA local governments, including City of Karratha, Shire of Broome and the City of Joondalup. Well, I looked up the City of Karratha policy on entitlements. They don't have any other expenses in their entitlements. I looked up the Shire of Broome in their entitlements under other expenses. They also don't have any other expenses. I looked up the City of Joondalup, and the City of Joondalup says elected members will generally not be reimbursed for the cost of meals or refreshments for other people. But then it also went on and said, in performing a function under the express authority of a local government, so if it's the express authority that you're meeting or performing a function, I would imagine that you would have a director or the CEO with you, in which case they probably would have the council credit card and they would be paying for it. So I don't know that this is a very prudent thing on our part to be passing an uncapped amount as other expenses. Thank you.
Speakers for Deputy Mayor.
Yes, I would also like to retribute. I looked up the City of Stirling. Claim only comes under council business travel, so it's not within your own town. One thing, and I'll just bring this up because it's nice to mention to the other councillors, that they have a 3-month of their, every 3 months you can put in the payment, so it's not limited to 14 days. I believe that looking at the amounts of the mayors and that the mayor, since Councillor Riff had already just mentioned, and I'll mention again, you favoured to take 90% in the budget. You've undercut yourself by about $13,000 less than what other mayors are getting around the state. Definition of council business: represents the interest, provides leadership and guides, facilitate communication and performs other functions. I believe also that as a mayor, we have a mayor's office there. We have cool drinks, water, tea, coffee. If we get to a point where we're starting to take expenses for coffee, are we being true to our town and our ratepayers? I'd also like to note that I did Broome as well. They do not have additional claims, and their receipts are up to the 15th day the month after. No payments made for additional persons while you're on travel. South Perth, no reimbursements. But good to know, councillors, that they under travel, they go business class. Registration and entertainment incidentals, East Pilbara, they have no extra at all. And once again, I would like to say that under the last 3 months that I've looked at, under your mayor's monthly meetings, most of them would have been accompanied by food or refreshments, or you would have been with the CEO, which I know the CEO has a credit card that he can use, and he is more than welcome to use. And I didn't actually see too many of meetings in town. So I just wanted to note that as well, that most meetings that you've gone to, they have been catered for. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Councillor Arif and Deputy Mayor. Obviously, it's all about the Mayor, who might, claim some expenses that, he has when he has some meetings. So thanks for clarifying that. And thanks for clarifying that, Council doesn't want to see the Mayor claim any expenses that he may have, in the course of his duties. I might just remind Council that, previously, if Council members have been watching the financials in the town, over the last 15 years, which I have, previous mayors have claimed, their expenses due to meetings that they may have had, and it was quite evident, throughout the finances that this was happening. And in my whole time in the public gallery, I never mentioned that once. I do believe that if people have, created an expense in the course of their, I suppose, their job and whatever, then, they're obviously entitled to claim it. But I'll also add that I've never claimed anything so far. This is a suggestion put forward and an option that we would have if we were to incur any expenses in the course of our duties. It's not about me, it's about the council, by the way. So, and now I think I'm just a little bit interested to find out whether the option 2 actually changes the rest of the amendments that are in there about taxi fares and all of that sort of stuff.
No, it doesn't.
Right. Well,
because if you look under 2.5,
it's okay. It's not
2.52.
It's not. I'm sure you can have your say in a minute. I think it's a little bit petty that we are going to these extremes to ensure that some detriment may be applied to a member of council in the course of his duties, his or her duties. And anyway, thanks for clarifying that, council members. Speakers for.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll speak for it. I think it's quite evident that if you want to have another anybody, I'm talking about, wants to have 10 cups of coffees with somebody they meet, they can have 10 cups of coffees and they pay for it outside this forum, outside the Shire building, or the town of Port Hedland council building. The thing is, we tried from our previous years as a councillor, we tried receipts. And receipts are the worst things that you can have because you lose them, then you've got to try to recoup your money back, etc., etc. Whereas with the way it is now, it's all there in black and white, you sign for it and you deal with it without having to come back with receipts and stuff like that. And it's so simple. And the other point is, if councillors, you remember that when the allowance budget came up, I was against, I'd gone for 100% because I said that if you do your job, you do it properly, and all these things will come into it. And if you didn't want your 100%, you could donate it to a charitable organisation or something, But I respect the 90% that you guys voted for. I always respect the majority of the decision, so maybe something to think about next year. But as far as paying for extras, bad luck. Thank you.
Speakers against? Speakers for? A right of reply, Councillor Aaron.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know that I've got very much to say other than, if meetings are endorsed or with the express authority of the council, then they are a meeting, and by rights there would be notes and minutes taken and things like that. And, it could be, people could just be, as Councillor Takash said, meeting a friend for coffee, and then you claim that back. I mean, when is a meeting a meeting? Everyone in town are ratepayers. So then that could be claimed if you're meeting a fellow ratepayer. No, I don't. I think it's open to abuse. So that's why I think it's best to do it this way. And the other thing is that in the report here, and it says, financial and resources implications, it's likely there could be minimal negative financial impact. Well, it could be if all of us were claiming that amount of money. It actually could be quite a substantial financial impact on our town. So I don't know that this is, I really don't think that to have other expenses written in such a general term is a very good thing. So fellow councillors, I urge you to vote for the motion that is put.
Can you give me one second? Before I put it to the vote, I'll just get a point of clarification from the acting CEO on the elected member entitlements. I'm just unclear as to whether 2.2.2 changes the daily allowance value to be increased from $100 to $150 to better align with the current standard room rate provided throughout the hospitality industry. That was requested by a council member. Can I get a clarification on that?
Yeah. Through the chair, no, it has no impact on that. So 2.2.2 that is being removed under the motion at hand is in the first policy. There is a second policy that's also being amended, and the daily allowance is included in that policy, so they have no bearing on each other.
Okay, so further clarification. So if the motion is passed, then the increase to the daily allowance happens?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Put it to a vote. Those in favour of Councillor Arif's option.
Sorry, I apologise, Mr. Mayor, but I didn't second it. It was Councillor Newbury. So can we get it changed, please? Yeah, it was you but my name was
okay,
up
councillor, that's fine.
Before we vote on it.
It was moved, councillor Arif, seconded, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Yep, that's better. Thank you.
So, are those in favour of option 2, amended recommendation? And those against? Oh, hang on. Can I? Okay. Those in favour of option 2, amended recommendation, show of hands, please. And those against? Okay, thank you. The motion is carried 5-3. (11.1.2) Status of council decision update.
Could I have a point of clarification? Thanks, Mayor.
Yes, Deputy.
I did bring up in the briefing last week concerning Port Haven. What was the result to that?
Acting.
Through the chair, we have spoken to BHP about where the social impact plan is at, and it will be presented to council briefing next month. So it will return to the outstanding items list until such time as council is satisfied.
So just to clarify that, has that been added to the scope already of the agenda item?
Through the chair, not for this meeting.
Thank you.
So moved.
Moved, councillor Arif. Do a seconder?
Yeah, second.
Seconded, Deputy. Do I have any against? The motion is passed 8-0. 11.1.3 Amendment of Policy 1-026, the complaints policy, with the officer recommendation on page 32, maybe? Right? 31.
So moved.
Moved, councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against? The motion is passed 8-0. Item 11.1.4, public exhibition corporate business plan. We see officer's recommendation on page 41.
So moved, Mayor.
Moved, councillor McDonough.
Seconded.
Seconded, councillor Arif. And do I have any against? Motion is passed 8-0. (11.1.5) Management of community business rooms at Port Haven, with the officer's recommendation on page 45.
Mr Mayor, I have to declare I have financial interest in that I have BHP shares above the threshold.
Thank you, councillor Arif.
Mr. Mayor, I've got to declare an interest as well as I have BHP shares above the threshold. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor De Cash.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to declare a partiality vote on this, please. Item number 11.1.5. As I am the President of the Port Hedland Chamber of Commerce, I disclose I have impartial interest. As consequences, there may be a perception of my impartiality of this matter may be affected. I declare that I will consider the matter on its merit and vote accordingly.
Thank you, councillor Carter. So we have an officer's recommendation on page 45. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation 1? Do I have a mover? Do I have a mover? I move Councillor Carter. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second it, Mayor.
Seconder, Councillor McDonough. Do I have anyone against Officer Recommendation 1? Motion is passed 6-0. Item 11.1.5, again, management of community business rooms at Port Haven on the Officer's Recommendation 2 on page 45. Do I have...
So moved.
Hang on.
Yeah, but the second one's not.
Okay. No, fees and charges. Yeah, no, correct. Yep. Okay. Thank you, councillors. Coming back into the room, Officer Recommendation 1 was passed 6-0. And now we're on to Officer Recommendation 2, imposing the booking fee, which is a schedule fees and charges. So, yes, Acting, can you explain?
So, through the chair, the first item to bring it back in has been passed, which means now you're just simply voting on a fee and charge, and it has no relationship to the conflicts that you previously declared.
Mm-hmm. So, the officer's recommendation on page 45, do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation?
Oh, sorry, yes, Mayor, I'll move that earlier.
Moved, Councillor McDonough. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Seconder, Councillor Arif. Do I have any against? Speakers for, Councillor McDonough. Speakers for, Councillor Arif. Speakers against, Councillor Whitwell.
Yes.
Councillor McDonough.
Just in relation to 11.1.5, the management of the community business rooms at Port Haven. The officer recommendation number 2 is just simply about imposing a booking fee of $15 for the room, and that the CEO give public notice about that. So it's more sort of backing up what we just voted for in recommendation 1. I see no issue with it personally.
Thank you, Councillor McDonough. Councillor, speakers for, Councillor Arif.
Yeah, once again, I can't see any problem with this. It's a booking fee, it's a fee for service. I can't see any problem with this. The Chamber of Commerce have been doing this for 10 years, charging a booking fee. It hasn't gone up in that time. It has now gone from $11 to $15, and that's not bad in 10 years of booking. But it's got to be done. So someone's got to do the work. We've got to, to book the rooms and do all the work like that, and someone's got to pay for that person to do the work.
Speakers against, Councillor Whitwell.
Yeah, my view is that we're actually interfering with business in this area. We have 5 rooms which are given to us without any cost, which is a deal that we did with the previous lessors, and it continues on to the current lessor. But the thing is that we don't really have any we're not in a room giving business here. We're in actually a business of council and managing the affairs of council which come to us. This is not one of them. It's something we got up on the side. I just look at it from a competitive point of view. I just went around the hotels here and by electronic means, and got an idea of what they're charging.
Councillor Whitwell, could I just ask the relevance, considering...
The relevance is what competition are we going to put on to the position in relation to where the other people in the industry are really hurting at the moment. Okay? So what I found out is that really about 104 was a room about per day was what was being charged, and basically they all congregated around that level, and they were really good. They're good places, and they're not so good places, but they're all around that level. The only one that was different to that's the Esplanade, but that's not an issue which would be in competition with anything that we'd be providing, because let's say it's out of that standard, but it still might affect them. But what we're doing is, at the moment, I believe that there are very few rooms being actually let out, because we look at the figures that we've got on page 46, and we look to see what the net profit and loss is, and that's gone down. That's the reason they want to get rid of it and give it to us. They were making quite a bit of money out of it at the time in which there was a peak, and we could, and there was a lack of rooms. But now we're in exactly the opposite situation. We've got a lot of rooms, and we're going to sort of now market and put other ones in the market in that pool, and that's what this officer's recommendation 2 is about. My view is that we should rethink about the officer's recommendation 2 and bring it back at a later stage. In particular, we should be allowing the return of 5 rooms, or having 5 rooms to us from the lessor, which we can use for our own purposes. But for the other rooms, that we should actually say, what are we spending a booking fee on those for? You know, look, we're sort of, the people who actually, the lessor has got his own booking system. It works very well. And we have to just thump another $15 onto it, because when you look back at what was done in the Chamber of Commerce, they used to have this big table, and they used to have it all spread out, and you had to mark off the bits and pieces, and it was a very expensive process. And in fact involved one person at the peak virtually all day on it. So we've got a situation that we're sort of trying to somehow or other think we're in a past where we're actually trying to help people with their accommodation. What we're doing is we're just actually not helping them with accommodation, and we're spending money on it. So where's the sense there? So my view would be, from just a simple arithmetical point of view and an economic point of view, it's a no.
Speakers for. I'll speak for it, and I'll clarify that Councillor Whitwell's argument is totally irrelevant. The argument referred to recommendation 1, where if council members didn't want the management brought back in-house, then they should have selected a different officer's recommendation. Currently, we are on officer's recommendation 2, which is purely imposing a $15 booking charge related to the decision that's just been made in officer's recommendation 1, that the Chamber of Commerce be thanked for its management, and advise the Chamber of Commerce that the booking management will now revert back to the town's management commencing 1st of January. So officer's recommendation 2 is purely about a booking fee that is going to be charged for booking the rooms that now will revert back to the town's management. Speakers against? Speakers for? A right of reply, Councillor Arif. Oh, McDonald. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I don't really have anything further to add at this stage. As you stated, officer's recommendation is purely just about the booking fee and the advertising of the public notice about it. So the argument was null and void. Thank you.
Thank you. Put it to a vote. Those in favour of the officer's recommendation 2, show of hands, please. Thank you. Those against? Motion is passed 7-1. (11.1.6) 2019-20 state budget submission on page 51. Is that correct? 51 it is, yes. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation?
So moved.
Move Councillor Arif. Go seconder, Councillor Whitwell. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. (11.1.7) write-off of bad debts on page 67 or 66. Do I have a mover?
So moved.
Moved Councillor McDonough.
Seconded.
And seconded Councillor Arif. Do I have any members against the officer's recommendation? Motion is passed 8-0. (11.1.8) amendment of 3-019 CEO performance review policy on page 77.
I'd like to make an amendment, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, a point of clarification as well.
I'll take the point of clarification first.
Okay, so it's actually, I think it's a typo more than anything. I just got to find out where it was. Page 83 I wrote on it, so on the actual policy itself. You've got...
Could I get a page on the...
Yeah, page 83 on my computer
your mine's
here.
different, so page on the update.
83. So, so there was, I'm just trying to think, the word performance was twice. There we go. Policy purpose. This policy provides a framework and guidance for the CEO performance agreement and performance review. So I'm thinking the first performance probably shouldn't be in there. The very first line under policy performance purpose. So the first performance.
Oh, I see it. Could I...
Possibly
Could I just get the CEO to comment on acting CEO to comment?
Through the chair, I believe it's correct. There's two separate documents. One's the performance agreement of what will be done for the next 12 months, and one's the performance review, which is the process.
So CEO performance. Oh, okay, rightio. Okay, rightio. So that's that. And the second one is just a little bit further down. The working group is referred. Well, sometimes it's referred to as a working group and sometimes as a committee. Can we have some continuity? In the delegation, it says the review committee, and then later on it says the review working group. Is it a working group or is it a committee?
Acting CEO.
Through the chair, we will amend it so that they are all consistent as committee.
It will be a working group rather than a committee.
Working group.
Yes.
That's the preference, yes.
Okay.
I'd like to make
Councillor De Cash.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make an amendment, page 80, under the review working group, whatever it's going to be called now. I'd like to see the review working group shall compromise of the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and other councillors elected by the councillor chair. Remove the one, because I believe every councillor should have the opportunity to be on the review panel for a CEO. Why only one?
That was explained in the briefings that we had, which obviously you didn't attend.
Oh, I probably did, but I want to change it now, so I mean, that doesn't mean because it happened before, I can't change it now, Mr.
Okay, I'll get some clarification.
I'm pretty
from,
sure I attended it. Thank you.
The acting CEO. Could we get some clarification on that?
Through the chair, sorry, I'll just clarify that there is a clause in the new policy that's exactly the same. But it's on page 83. But the councillor is entitled to propose an amendment as he sees fit.
Okay.
Thank you, acting CEO. So that's my.
So you would like to move that amendment?
Yes, thank you.
Do I have a seconder in that proposed amendment?
Thank you.
A seconder, Councillor Whitwell. Do I have any? This is a procedural motion. So. Okay. Yep. Do I have any against the amended motion?
Yes.
Speakers for, Councillor De Cash. Speakers for, Councillor Whitwell. Speakers against, Councillor McDonough.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, obviously the CEO is the main figurehead of the town, and we are the employer of the CEO as elected councillors. And in that, if that's the fact, then I believe everybody that's elected by the electors of the town, the councillors have the right to attend any meeting that involves the CEO and his or hers ability to be employed by our town. Why is it the mayor, the deputy mayor, and one other? That's rubbish. I mean, there's 9 of us. If 9 of us want to be part of it, fair enough. If only 3 of us want to be part of it, fair enough. But I don't believe anybody should be, just because it says one, should be excluded. You know, we all have the right to be on that panel. Thank you.
Speakers for, Councillor Whitwell.
Look, I'm sorry, I think you misunderstood me. I'm actually voting against, right?
Councillor Whitwell, are you withdrawing your seconding motion?
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting. So do I have another seconder for the motion?
I'll second it. We'll give it a run.
Okay. Can we change? Yeah, we can change the seconder. Yep. Okay, so speakers for, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I'd just like to concur with Councillor De Cash. Yeah, I thought it was quite unusual that there was only myself, yourself, and one other person. I would have expected at least 2 or 3 other councillors, but not one. Thank you.
Speakers against, Councillor McDonough.
Yes, Mayor. Just recently attended WALGA training in relation to CEO performance reviews, and the recommendations within that stated that, and certainly I believe most people would have been through a performance review with their employer and that sort of thing. You're going and sitting with a whole panel of people. It's not really conducive to a nice working environment. It's quite a stressful situation going to a performance review anyway. And I also believe that it shows that if we've got the mayor, the deputy mayor, and one other councillor, then we should have faith in those elected members that they're doing the right thing and acting in good governance.
Speakers for.
I think there's a reason to have the. Sorry, what are we doing? This is not.
No speakers for. Speakers against.
Here, I'll speak against it. As Councillor McDonough said, we did have this training, and to have a cast of 1,000 is, or 9 at least, it'd be very daunting and far too onerous to try and stand in front of or sit in front of that many people. I think the mayor, the deputy mayor, and one other councillor is a good number of people. It's an odd number as well, so that you're always going to come out with an outcome. So the next odd number you'd have is 5, and I think 5 is far too many. You can't have 4 because then you have a casting vote, so it's got to be 3 or 5. So I think 3 is the better number, and the mayor, the deputy mayor, and one other councillor is a good outcome.
Speakers for? Speakers against?
Sorry. No, I'm speaking for this, for Dakash's view. Sorry, I'm a bit much.
Could I speak? Could you speak into the microphone, councillor?
I'm speaking for, Dakash's motion, right? The issue is that it's useful to have a little bit of flexibility in who you're actually having on that committee. Now, I can remember last time we had a committee issue to do with selection and so forth and performance. We had it put on when people weren't actually there, and so therefore we couldn't actually participate. So my view is that, simple as that.
Now I've forgotten my place. Councillors, where am I? Speakers against? I'll speak against the amendment. It's all relating to trust, basically. Do you trust 3 members of the council to, relay any information that may be presented at a CEO's performance review to the rest of the council? And if that trust is not there, obviously, then you need the whole council on the committee. We have been working previously with a facilitator. I don't know if that's the right word. To try and get the council to draw a line in the sand and work together and create that trust amongst each other. For council members to, go to meetings or receive information and then send it out to the rest of the council. In saying that, we have had, quite a few briefings on this, and we've also had some training recently, and it was quite clear that, a performance review for a staff member is a stressful situation, and you don't want 9 or 10 people in the room asking questions to a professional person, regardless whether it's our current CEO or the next one. We don't want to be creating policy that has the whole council or I don't know how many people sitting in front of him throwing questions at him. We all should be well versed in the performance of the CEO, because that's our job, to ensure we know how the budget's been applied and how the town is being run. And we should also have trust in our fellow council members to relay any information that might be provided in those meetings. So no, I don't support Councillor Dakash's suggestion that that we have every council member on the panel, and that also falls in line with the training that we've had, which suggests that we shouldn't have large numbers of people at these performance reviews. Speakers for? Speakers against? Right of reply.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I hear this word daunted by somebody who's supposed to be an expert on this field. I, as a councillor, have got to face thousands of electors to get voted in as a councillor. So who's the one that gets daunted? 9 people talking to a guy who wants to become CEO of the town, a person who wants to become CEO of the town, is going to be daunted. He or she has got to face thousands of ratepayers, electors of the town when issues arise. So if the CEO that wants to be a CEO of our town is daunted by 9 people, don't ever elect a CEO that gets daunted by 9 people. That's an embarrassment. I mean, I know in previous years we had every councillor vote for the mayor and face the ask questions of him or her through previous years. So really, for a guy that's going to be afraid of 9 councillors if he gets a job or not, well, it's not good for me. Thank you.
Put it to a vote. Those in favour of the amended motion, show of hands, please. Motion is lost. The count was 7-1. Oh, okay, so we'll take it again. Those in favour of the amended motion, show of hands, please. Those against? Okay, 6-2.
Thank you.
So, that's what I thought. Okay, so we have item 11.1.8, the amendment of the CEO's performance review policy on page 77, wasn't it? The original officer's recommendation. Do I have a mover in the original officer's recommendation?
So moved.
Move Councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Speakers for, Councillor Arif. Speakers for, Councillor McDonough. Speakers against, Councillor De Cash.
Thank you very much. I read through this policy quite a few times, and the second time or third time being today, and I think it's all quite above board and quite it meets all the needs that we need to go through the performance review of the CEO. I don't think that we need to do anything to make it any better. I think it's as good as it can be, and that with that the council should be passing this motion as it is. Thank you.
Speakers for, Councillor McDonough.
Yes, I'd like to concur with Councillor Arif. We had several presentations on the amendments to this policy from the manager of HR. I think that's your position. Sorry. And it all seems very straightforward, the amendments, and I think probably most importantly that it brings the performance review period to fall in line with the actual contract period rather than being at the same time every year, because we could have the situation where the CEO has only been in place for 1 or 2 months and then we're conducting a performance review and it's not really appropriate. So I'm for the motion. Thank you.
Speakers against, Councillor De Cash.
I said quite a bit last time. It's just I just don't accept that there should only be 3 people electing the CEO with such a high profile position of our town. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Speakers for? I'll speak for the motion just briefly. Much the same as what I said previously, it's a matter of trust in the the small group that should be present in a performance review. And also just clarify that council policy is the responsibility of the council. It's got nothing to do with the staff. So what Councillor De Cash said previously about, members of the staff wanting a policy that only has 3 members in there is incorrect. The council determines the policy. This is a council policy. If the council wants 9 members on there, then that's what happens. If it doesn't want 9 members, and if it wants to follow the advice that's been, issued to us through training and through, professional staff, which states that there should be a small group because of the stresses associated with, having a performance review. And anybody that's gone through a performance review would understand if you're facing 9 or 10 people that may be, quite ugly, it is a stressful situation. So, including myself, obviously. So it is a good idea to, just have a small group and, and make sure that the meeting is held in a, neutral situation with the least amount of stress we can possibly, exert on that member, regardless of who it might be today or in the future. Speakers against? Speakers for? Right of reply?
Nothing further to add.
Put it to a vote. Those in favour of the original officer's recommendation, have a show of hands, please. And those against? Motion is passed 7-1. (11.2.1) Propose use not listed rural home business lot 5223 Great Northern Highway, Pipingara.
Oh, yeah. Can I ask for either a point of clarification or to defer this, whether or not this particular lot in Pipingara is held under a pastoral lease for the Aboriginal Lands Trust?
I don't think it is, but Acting CEO.
Through the chair, I can't say definitively, but I have trust that the planning team, who've worked very hard with this proponent to find an appropriate parcel of land, would have worked through any tenure issues around the parcel before receiving the application and letting it get to come to council.
Okay, so can we just defer this motion then until we can get that paperwork?
Would you like to put that motion forward?
Yes, please.
Do I have a seconder in that deferral?
I'll second it.
It's procedural to a vote. Yeah. Those in favour of the deferral? And those against? Okay, 6-2. Defer the motion. Item 11.2.2, request for proposal on smart city strategy. Now, has everybody got the updated version? Yes? Thank you. So we have a amended Officer Recommendation 1, requires an absolute majority. Do I have a mover in the Officer's Recommendation 1?
So moved.
Move Councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second that, Mayor.
Seconded, Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against? Speakers for, Councillor Arif. Speakers for, Councillor McDonough. Speakers against, Councillor Whitwell.
So thank you very much.
Sorry. Yeah, I thought we were going on the amended officer's recommendation 2. So I'll withdraw my seconding of the...
So I have asked whether everyone had the amended document. The amended document.
Sorry, the amended one. It's just it's a bit
Okay,
confusing.
I'll get some clarification. Thank you, Acting CEO.
Through the chair, there's 2 parts to this item. The first one relates to setting the budget for this item. That is the amended recommendation that was circulated today, amended officer's recommendation 2. So.
Okay, so we're clear. There's 2 parts to this.
Not quite. Both of them actually do that. Both of them actually look at getting the expenditure recommendation in, right? It's just the way they do it. It's different.
Acting CEO, can I get some further clarification on it?
Through the chair, that particular first recommendation has been amended 2 times. The most subsequent one was this afternoon, and that I believe is the motion that is live, which is this.
Could I put through an alternative recommendation, please?
Can we have a mover and a seconder? So, is this the one? Okay. Okay, so to clarify, officer's recommendation 1, amendment 2, the bottom.
Can you highlight it?
Okay, so to clarify, I may have said it incorrectly. So the 11.2.2 is officer's recommendation 1, amendment 2. That is what we're voting on currently. So
Can you read out the whole motion, please, so we could be absolutely sure we're looking at the right thing?
amended officer's recommendation that council adopts to amend the 2018-19 budget to include a number of operating expenditure for the Smart Cities project to be funded from the current operational materials and contracts expenditure line allocated for local planning strategy and development, sustainability and lifestyle consultancy project, resulting in a nil to the projected municipal surplus of $285,657 as at the 30th of June 2019. It should be resulting to a nil impact. So are we clear? Okay, do I have
Sorry, man, no.
Councillor Arif? Have I still got a mover in Councillor Arif? Do I still have a seconder in Councillor McDonough?
Yes, you do.
Do I have any against? Speakers for Councillor Arif. Speakers for Councillor McDonough. Speakers against. Deputy Mayor.
So thank you very much. The Smart Cities project is something that I'm actually quite passionate about, and when it was put to us a couple of months ago that we should start to investigate Port Hedland becoming a smart city, and we put out for expressions of interest, we knew there was going to be a cost involved with it. Now, the fact that we didn't get the cost before the budget was set was unfortunate, but we've set the budget and now the costs have come in, and I'm very keen to see the Smart City projects continue to the next stage. With that, then obviously we have to find the money, and the finance team have been very diligent and have found the money, and resulted within our current economic finances, resulted in a nil to the projected municipal surplus. So, you know, that's a very good result as far as I'm concerned. So I think we should proceed with it.
Speakers for, Councillor McDonough.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. I'd just like to add that I think we've spoken many times on different challenges that the town faces in relation to technology and automation within the industries that are operating in our town. And I think we're probably definitely clear that the broadband's not going to give us everything that we need. But also we speak at length, and we hear it throughout the town on a daily basis, that high expenses of utilities and that sort of thing. So, and obviously as a town, we face those high costs of utilities, etc. as well. So, with the smart city strategy, it's not just the communication technology and that sort of thing. It's also power management, water management. It's the old thing of, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, I think. And I believe that this smart city strategy is generally fairly undersubscribed, has been traditionally, so we're probably a very good chance of actually getting this funding if we've got a good plan and good vision that fits in line with our strategic community plan as well. So I'd like to see it go through as it's put. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDonough. Speakers against, Councillor Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, councillors. Look, I'd just like to state I'm not against, I'm definitely not against this smart city strategy. I definitely understand the potential that it's going to make to this town, and it's all rosy, but it's the money. 5 minutes before I come to this meeting, I'm given this alternative. And does anyone, councillor, know what material and contracts holds in it at the moment? Do you know the dollar figure? Now, what I appreciate is when it comes down to finances, I get given a little bit more time to sit down and work out where the money's coming from and what's it coming from and what's it going from. That's what I'm against tonight. And I think we are in such a crucial or critical point with our finances that I would like to implore my councillors, please, to take a little bit more interest into the finances. I'm all for going for projects, but we need to understand these finances. And I'm sorry, but it states here 25 million, apparently a bucket load of money in there. Well, what have we missed out on for the transfer? I still don't understand this. Thank you.
Speakers for, Councillor Whitwell.
Councillor Whitwell, I'd like to speak for. I understand the position put by the Deputy Mayor, where it's a fairly, let's say, non-defined aspect of what we're, but it's an opportunity for us to get some money for development of our town. And so development of the town is important, but it's not the way that we had a previous speaker say, that it was linked only to sort of tangible things. It can be also social, in the sense that if we feel there's a really good positive value coming from a social infrastructure element, then we should be doing that. You know, it's equal. I mean, we've got to decide. I suppose the trouble we've got at the moment is that although this is hanging out there, and we had some people come up and see us who are very knowledgeable in these things, but we really haven't got anything identified at the moment in our minds as a council. And that's a worry, because we've got to start to really pull it together if we're going to go this way. Because it's crucial that we get our act together for this, so that with some help from a consultant and so forth, we should be able to do that. But it is something that time is pressing on us. And so, right, that's the first thing, the in a sense, the ambiguity of the situation we're at the moment. But it's worthwhile giving a shot if we can get the assistance that we can get from the consultants and so forth in relation to this, to help us along the way to get this amount of money invested in our town for good purposes. Now, the other issue though is that while we're putting out this money, which is about 250,000 to start, we actually are going to be putting a hole, in essence, in our budget. And what we've done now is, in this motion, is actually take that money out of another area, which is the development of sustainable lifestyle consultancy, and putting it into this area where we're going to have to put effectively a deposit down. So I think it's risky, but I think it's worthwhile going for, because I think that we can get a lot of support in getting this on board. We're the people who've just got to get our acts together as well in terms of working properly on it. And so look, I'd support it because I think it's something we haven't done before, and it's something that it's not really a smart cities thing. It drops out from the smart cities thing, but it aligns with it. And we're not really a city, so we're looking at smaller projects, but that's okay, as long as we can actually define them, see that they're going to be a worth to our community. I think we've got a really good chance of getting something out of this.
Speakers against? Speakers for? Okay, I'll speak for it. I'm just a little bit confused about us talking about the budget, and not understanding what is in the budget. It's a bit of a concern when councillors say that, considering that we've been developing the budget over the last 6 months. So we should have a real understanding of what's in our budget and where the money may come from. If money is shifted around to fund another project. I'm clear on where the money's coming from. We've also, I don't think we should be voting against a proposal like this, considering the way the world's going with IT technology. And we just voted, in 11.1.4, our corporate business plan, which states we will explore options for a smart city strategy, and that was on page 21. So I wouldn't have thought that we would have any objection to the officer's recommendation, considering we should understand what's in our budget, and we just voted to endorse the smart city strategy. The reason why this has come up is because the federal government is going to release funding shortly, and we need to employ consultants to create a business case, a quality business case that can be put forward to the federal government to give us a chance to receive, money that is between 250 and 500 million. $5 million. So, if we do put a decent strategy forward, we have a very good chance of actually achieving those, attracting and retaining or achieving those funds, because this proposal, like we've been told on many occasions, has not been fully subscribed for many years. We also have, and I have mentioned this to council, in our discussions, we also have a very good chance of actually achieving, funding out of the federal government on a smart city strategy, because we are significant to the national interest. Port Hedland is on the map. We, produce $2.3 billion to the state coffers. We also provide $2.4 billion to the federal coffers as well. So we're on the map. And putting a good business case together and presenting it to the federal government, we do have a really good chance of getting some funds back, considering that our local member, federal member, has just been elevated to the front bench. What a great opportunity just there, and it puts us in the box seat to make something like this happen. So. Yes, there are risks associated with doing this, but there's risks associated with everything, and I think this is a risk that we should take. I don't think it is a very big risk. I think we have a very good chance, considering our relationship that we have developed with the federal government over the last 18 months is very strong, and both ministers that will be, looking at this proposal, we have close ties with. So I urge council to support the strategy, and I'm sure that we will have a big win for the town of Port Hedland. Speakers against? Speakers for? Right of reply?
I think everyone has spoken very eloquently on this subject, Mr Mayor, and I hope it goes through. Thank you.
Thank you. So could I get a Councillor Pitt? Did you have something further to add? Thank you. Could I get a vote? Those in favour of the officer's recommendation 2, show of hands, please. Those against? There is nil. Unanimous. Thank you. 8-0. The motion is passed. Okay. Could I get a page number on that? 100. So, 11.2.2, request for a proposal, Smart City Strategy, Officer's Recommendation 2 on the original agenda. Do I have a mover?
Yes, so moved.
Move, Councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second it.
Second, Councillor McDonough. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. (11.3.1) Adoption of the Town of Port Hedland Waste Strategy 2018. With the officer's recommendation on page maybe 105, 104. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation on the waste strategy?
Yes, so moved.
Move, Councillor McDonough. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Arif. Do I have any against? Speakers for, Councillor McDonough. Speakers for, Councillor Arif. Speakers against, Councillor Whitwell.
Yes, just in relation to the adoption of the Town of Port Hedland Waste Strategy 2018 and the officer's recommendation as it is on the screen there. We've had many presentations on this one from the executive and the manager of the landfill, that sort of thing, and what we haven't had prior is a good structured plan as to what we're going to do moving forward with our waste management. So if we go through the actual agenda there's all the new master plan, etc. for the landfill. We're talking about a 16-year usage life of the landfill as it is currently, and a large reduction in what we previously thought the costs were going to be to manage the landfill moving forward as well. So I see absolutely no reason to object to the motion, and I feel confident that the staff have done some really fantastic work, and I'm in support of it. Thank you.
Speakers for, Councillor Arrow.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to compliment the Director or the Manager of Waste Operations on such a comprehensive waste strategy. It is really, really good, and congratulate him on putting this together. People are already saying how good the tip has come, or the waste landfill site is. Now, how much better is it going to be when we start to implement this strategy? I can't wait for us to start putting it into place, and then the compliments to the town will really start flowing. This has really been a masterful piece of work to put it through, and thank you very much. I urge all councillors to vote with this, and anyone in the community have a look at it, and it really is well worth it. Thank you.
Speakers against, Councillor Whitwell.
Okay. Look, I'm in agreement with the two other speakers that it's a well documented document in terms of 1A and 1C, right? They're very good, and I think that if we could implement the waste strategy in 2018, that'd be great. But the one that's missing is B, and that's called the Waste Management Assessment 2018. And if you have a good look at the waste assessment, and we've had people up here telling us how, private enterprise is just so much better than we are in terms of the cost of providing those services, that we should immediately, this is one of the recommendations, we should immediately go into a recruitment of getting an outside private enterprise to come in and give us a quote, and then we'll evaluate the quotes, and we'll use that by doing a preferred WA strategy and so forth. That was the recommendation, and it's the recommendations of TALUS, and that's what we refer to.
Councillor Whitwell, can you just check what you're talking about here, and ensure that it's not related to the confidential attachment?
I didn't realise it was confidential. It hasn't got confidential at the top.
The attachments on page 112 provides a outline of what is and what is not confidential.
Hang on, go back to this one at the back.
I'm sure the documents that would have been provided would have confidential on them.
112, I haven't got a 112. That's the wrong one. I haven't got a 112. What I've got, where is it? Yeah, I see. Sorry, they are confidential. But look, I'm not going to mention any figures, right? I'll just mention the concepts, right? Which are important. But I've been through the figures, and the figures don't really stack up. And I won't go into why they don't stack up, but I'll say it's a matter of cost. And the cost I can't really go into it anyway, because it is confidential when I get down to that level. But it's the first time I've had the opportunity to have a look at that particular let's say particular financial assessment, right? And I had a look at it, and anyway. But look, what I'm suggesting you do is the easiest thing to do is to get somebody who's a cost accountant to have a look at it, right? It's not coming up to that standard. And also, you need to have an audit on it, because it's a very serious question here, you know, that's being put. And I think we all know what the question is, and are we allowed to talk about the question? That is, whether it be put out to private enterprise. I think that's in the main part of this. And so, and the recommendations as referred to in the main part of this are actually not in the main part of this, but in the actual attachment to it by the people who did the work. And so I think you've got to really, what I'd do is I'd go ahead with the A's and the C's. I think they're, you know, talented in that area, but they don't seem to be too talented in the area of finding out what the relative costs are. And that's a very important decision for us as a council to make. Once we go one way, it's hard to come back. The other thing you've got to remember is that in our rubbish collection process, we bought a big rubbish collection truck. Very, you know, just about what would it be? It'd be about 3-4 years ago, and that was a lot of money that we spent on that truck. And I believe that truck's not being used for curbside recycling. I believe it's being used for getting the bigger lots of going from commercial premises and getting that, and also going through all the bins that we've got out, which is not the same as the lifting the bin. It's going into picnic areas around that area, and it's being used not in the lifting. Now I might be wrong, but you've got a number of trucks, and we're over enthused with trucks at the moment, I believe, and that's why that particular truck has been put aside when I heard about it last time. And that's about 2 years ago probably, right? But I'm concerned that when the figures are going out, that we're getting a very high cost ratio.
Thank you, Councillor Whitwell. Speakers for? I'll speak for it. It's you know, the information provided by the officer responsible is quite clear. I think we should have faith in our staff that supply these strategies, and I don't think we need to employ other people to review our staff's, you know, reports, considering that we have had a operational, you know, reshuffle, I suppose. We have put appropriately qualified staff in positions that give us the best qualified position, I suppose, you know, in these strategies, in these business areas that we are dealing with within the town of Port Hedland. The report is quite clear. It states that you know, it's imperative that we create a strategy that develops and identifies and confirms a plan to work towards the landfill closure. That conversation, you know, has been had for many years. I think, you know, as far back as I can remember, we were talking about, you know, the necessity to close down the landfill, and also to find another you know, position for a new one to be developed in. The report states that the lifespan's around the 15 years. The strategy includes the implementation of curbside recycling, something that, you know, 90% I think of the community said they wanted to see. You know, when we did the community strategic plan, And we've also been told by our staff, and there's no reason to doubt them, that the strategy moving forward will give us a cheaper option with our waste, as well as providing a curb recycling I suppose, ability of the town. So that's a huge win. And the previous business plan that was put to us, I disagreed with. And I said, no, I didn't agree with that. I think that was in December 2015. This one is far better. Like I said, curbside recycling. It also states that we'll be engaging with the community. In relation to waste education, developing a plan for food and organic recycling. It talks about a community recycling centre. It talks about setting a container deposit scheme. Obviously, that's what the state government is trying to do. That's what the state government is implementing. The strategy is in place for that. It talks about expanding material recovery at the landfill. It's a very good strategy. It benefits the community. It adds a service without additional costs. So, like we've been told previously, in the way we vote on these items, there's only a couple of simple rules. Is it good for the town or is it not good for the town? And does it benefit ratepayers? Does it not benefit ratepayers? Well, here we have a situation where it's good for the town, curbside recycling, and it benefits ratepayers financially, good for the town. I don't see how we can be saying no to a strategy like this. So I urge councillors to vote in favour of the officer's recommendation, and let's get on with it. Speakers against? Speakers for? Right of reply.
Nothing further to add.
Thank you. I'll get I've already got right of reply, thank you. Who? It was McDonough, was it? Okay. All right, we're all getting confused tonight. So, Councillor McDonough, did you have a right of reply?
Not really, Mayor, but thank you very much, Councillor Arif. But I would just like to add, and I probably wasn't clear enough about it just in the beginning, that I think Councillor Arif mentioned that the improvements out at the landfill currently. Every time we go out there, we see that it's neater, it's cleaner, it's tidier. The staff out there are fantastic, and I really think that it's a real credit to the manager of waste operations and the director, and I'm very, very happy with the way this report was put together, and I believe we should all support it. Thank you.
Those in favour of the officer recommendation, show of hands, please. Thank you. And those against? Motion is passed 7-1. Item 11.3.2, proposed Town of Port Hedland Waste Local Law 2018, with the officer's recommendation on page 113. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation?
So moved.
Move Councillor McDonough. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Councillor Arif. Do I have any against? Motion is passed 8-0. Item 12, reports from committees. 12.1, Audit, Risk and Governance Committee minutes, 4th of September 2018 with the office. Did I miss one? Did I? Oh, I did too. Okay, we will reverse up and go to page, was it 114? And officer's recommendation 2 relating to the proposed Town of Port Hedland waste local law. So do I have a mover in officer's recommendation 2? No mover?
Yes.
Oh, Councillor Whitwell. And seconded, Councillor De Cash. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. Uh, 12.1, Audit Risk and Governance Committee meeting, committee minutes, 4th of December 2018, with the officer's recommendation on page 126. Do I have a mover in the officer's recommendation?
So moved.
Move Councillor Arif. Do I have a seconder?
Oh, yes, I'll second that, Mayor.
Councillor McDonough, seconded. Do I have any against? Motion's passed 8-0. Item 13, motions which previous notice has been given. There is nil. Item 14, new business of an urgent nature. Item 14.1, Rackwick Aquatic Centre upgrade works has been pulled. Item 15, matters for which the meeting may be closed, confidential matters. There is nil. There is one. Okay, yes. Item 15.1, future direction and structure of the Pilbara Regional Council. So, thank you, members of the public. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to exit the room so we can have a look at this confidential item.